Scholarly voice. Raptor arms and a scholarly voice. Really hard Jurassic Park today. Guess who's back? Rhetorical K-pop.
I'm Sherston.
I'm Aubrey.
And this week we are going to be analyzing Winner!
In case you couldn't tell by the super duper nerdy introduction.
We may be more than a little teeny bit excited.
We thought this would be a fun one to do, not necessarily because the content of the music video is fluffy, but because the colors are bright, and bright colored music videos tend to get passed over rhetorically. And there's a lot going on in this music video. So much so that we only picked a few key points to go over.
We thought it'd be more exciting if we just kind of covered the highlights instead of breaking it down frame by frame like we could have. Winner has talked about how this particular video is the emptiness and loneliness sentiment of, you know, not being in love or having fallen out of love. La la la. And we kind of see that reflected in some key items that should be working but are not fulfilling their purpose. Kind of like love that has been wasted.
So, we could have gone through a lot of items for this because...
So many items.
So many.
All the things.
Because all of the rooms are really well dressed. The set dressing is phenomenal.
10 points.
But we picked one item per individual space.
Space Jam, here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
Because I can't think of a better phrase for that.
The first person we feel like we should talk about is the first person who appears in the video, which is Taehyun, our precious, precious diva maknae.
The item that we chose from Taehyun's room is the phone that he has. He has an old corded phone laying on the floor that follows him around the room and is always off the hook.
Interesting. For those of you who, you know, might be too tiny to remember what it's like to have corded phones, or, you know, landlines, if a phone's off the hook, it means you can't actually get through and place a call to that phone. In fact, it's a really great strategy if you really wanted to ignore someone. You just put it off the hook and we're like, well, loser. Taehyun's phone should be for calling and reaching out to people, but because it is off the hook, he can't.
The second room that we have is the... The second room that we have is the bathroom that Jinwoo is in, laying forlornly in the tub.
An empty tub. A tub that has no purpose. Because what do you do in a tub?
You wash yourself.
You get naked, get wet, and you scrub yourself. He is doing none of them.
Just laying in an empty bathtub.
Being sad.
Staring forlornly at the ceiling.
He's not even he is not even eating his cereal.
That's probably one of my favorite things.
There's a bowl of cereal just sitting there.
Yes, and his poor rubber ducky can't float because there's no water in the tub.
No one is doing anything that they want to do. The next item is found in Minho's room. Now, Minho did a lot of producing on E, and he's kind of making a name for himself in music stuff, which is why his item is a record that you see on a turntable. In fact, you see two of them spinning side by side. But the thing about them is they have stickers on them.
What happens when you put a sticker on a record?
Can't play.
It can't play the music because the pin can't get into the grooves.
And it can't read the music or play it. Therefore, its purpose is null and void via sticker. Every time I say Sunghoon, I have to think Hip Hop Baby Lion in order to remember he's the one with an H because he's also the one that is more hyper. Yeah, I totally have to do that.
Anyway, the item from his room is a ladder.
At one point you see it actually standing up, kind of hanging out near the window. Window! But, at another point, it's laying on the ground.
Sideways.
And he kind of...
tries to climb it.
Well, he successfully climbs it, but you can't really climb...
a sideways ladder on the floor.
effectively. The last item of the selections is the bicycle that lives with Sung Yoon.
It's another one of those items that is standing up initially, but then gets laid down on the floor.
And he tries riding it sideways, which, you know, kind of like the ladder is super not effective.
You're not really going to go anywhere on a bike if it's on the floor sideways.
He still gets a really good workout, but that's about all he's getting from it.
Pretty much.
He's not even going fast enough to get his heart rate up enough to really, you know, count his cardio. So you might be thinking, why do we care that they have a bunch of objects that are not fulfilling their purposes? Really good question. Aubrey literally just asked it.
I did.
There's actually 2 rhetorical shifts that happen in this video, and each one kind of mimics shifts that have happened with Winner recently. The first one pops up when
Taehyun puts the sunglasses on and points.
and does the cute little woo! After that happens, you see everybody in their individual spaces start to become more active.
Everyone starts kind of jamming and dancing a little bit.
Yeah, you see little tiny solo dances.
The second rhetorical shift happens when Jinwoo is submerged in water because now the bathtub has water in it.
It's doing its job. Kind of.
What? I squeaked that out the first time.
You super did.
Ooh.
She's a squeakaphone, like a little tiny rubber duck. So after Jinwoo sinks into the water, things literally explode.
Everything starts going crazy. Bookshelves are torn down. Papers are thrown. Literal food is thrown in the air.
Yeah, that's when you suddenly see everything kick up into high gear, and everybody in the group spaces starts dancing and flailing, and we see the actual choreo. Now, the reason why I said that this kind of mimics things that have been going on in Winnerdom lately is because at one point, sometime in the past couple of months, YG finally descended from on high and said, "Oh, you guys have a CD completely ready to go? You've written 100 songs? Well, I guess you can have a comeback." That would be Rhetorical Shift 1, where suddenly everybody becomes more active in their spaces as they prepare for it. Rhetorical Shift 2 kind of mimics the, and now we're suddenly having a comeback. And we see the dancing and the happiness, and everybody's suddenly actually doing the things that they should.
Hey, look, the last point on our notes. We noticed while we were watching the music video that when the group space was set up,
The garage space specifically.
thank you, the garage space where they jam out as a band, every single person contributes a different item from one of their rooms to that space.
For instance, we have Sung Yoon's piano, the yellow and blue one.
And we have Taehyun's broken TV, but it's now functioning.
Minho has a keyboard that pops up. And then we have our 2 complicated children, Jinwoo and Sung-hoon. Yeah.
Jinwoo, we postulate, is the water. His item is the water shower that comes down on everyone laying on the ground at the very end of the music video.
Because if you actually look in the scene where he's sitting in the bathtub and the tub is filling with water, you have the rain, head, falling, shower, ness. The one that we're kind of, how shall we say, uncertain on, which it's okay to be uncertain. We're just kind of pointing out a trend, and we have a theory, but we don't know how good that theory is. Sung-hoon has a cat and he dances with it.
When Sung-hoon is in his room, he has a cat with him that he dances around with. So we kind of postulate that the dancing is what he contributes to the group space.
Yeah, because if you actually look at him in the background, he's constantly dancing and wiggling and being Sung-hoon. But then when you see the group actually all dancing together, we know he choreographed it because he's Sung-hoon and choreography is what he do. So it kind of seemed like the most logical contribution he would make to the group space.
Fun fact about this music video, it is filled with Winner Easter eggs everywhere.
Yeah, from the rubber ducks that you randomly see to the showers of water that remind them of, goodness gracious, both empty and
coloring.
Both of them have water and tubs and submersion and all kinds of excitement. But the coolest Easter egg that we found was a reference to the inner circle. You can literally go through each and every single room and find tons and tons and tons, like literally tons,
Of circles.
circles everywhere, circles for days, which is a reference to the fandom Inner Circle. So they are literally including their fans in their space, because even through all of the emptiness and loneliness, Inner Circle was still with them.
So it's kind of a love song to fandom.
Precious!
Bless it.
So if you are an Inner Circle, it might be fun to go through and see if you can spot all of the different Easter eggs. There's even references to things from Winner TV and Who's Next that they kind of slipped in there as a nod to their fans.
Mm-hmm.
If you happened to enjoy this rollicking romp through Winner's Sentimental, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. Ah!
If you want to see more videos like this, you can click the subscribe button, because we like subscribers. If you would like to continue the conversation or have other things that you have noticed that you would like to point out to us, you can go ahead and comment below. We love to hear from other people and continue the conversations about the rhetoric of music videos.
Yep, and as always, if you have a video you would like us to take a look at, please feel free to let us know, and we will get to it as soon as we can.
Bye! What?
I got a little tiny more.